Oh boy. Super stoked. So stoked, finally. Whee! Oh my gosh. I'm so excited that this is actually in my shop now. This has been sitting in my carport for like 6 months. So I got to get this thing unpacked, get them into position where they are. The 50-ton press, it's actually on wheels, so that one will be easy to move around once I get it off the pallet. The power hammer, of course, is not on wheels, so I'm going to have to borrow a pallet jack from work, I think, so that I can get that positioned over here on the independent slab that I poured for it. And then there's going to be a little bit of work, of course, getting that mounted to the ground. So exciting. All right, guys. So most of those videos in the beginning were from a while ago. I don't know, probably a month ago. I think at least a month ago, that I had the power hammer and press moved into the workshop. But these actually showed up at my house in, I believe it was April. So they were sitting in the carport for about 5 months until I had a delivery guy that had a small enough forklift that he could fit underneath the carport. Because I had gotten deliveries before and asked the guys if they could move it, but the forklift was too tall to go under the carport. So finally had a guy. So anyway, they're into the shop now. So this episode is pretty much just going to be unpacking these, getting it set up, doing some decorative work. I think I want to do some designs on the power hammer and probably the press too. So maybe I can enlist my wife to do something. So since she's the artist in the family. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get to work. All right, so this is the power hammer. And for those of you not familiar with the power hammer, this is a tool used by blacksmiths and metalworkers. It's basically a giant hammer. There's a piston here. I have it on ultra wide mode too. That's why it looks so, my arm looks super long. So this is a Blue Max 155, which is the equivalent of a 155 pound hammer. I believe that's what that means. So basically this is a pneumatic cylinder. This moves up and down. You put your metal in here, in between the dies, and it flattens it, shapes it. This has interchangeable dies, so I can buy other dies down the road and then swap them out depending on what I'm trying to do. So both of these pieces of equipment are somewhere in the range of like 1,700 pounds, something like that. I think one is like 15 something and one's 17. I don't remember which is which. I think this is probably the heavier one. The hydraulic press, which this is a 50-ton press, also has interchangeable dies. You can see how long this has been sitting because even though it's covered up with plastic and a tarp, still getting some surface corrosion on there. So that can all be cleaned up pretty easily and then oiled. Yeah. Oh, look, there's my buddy Jason Knight. So this is the 50-ton press. Pedal there actuates it. On-off cylinders. Hydraulic reservoir. So This one will be easy to maneuver once I get it off the pallet because it is on wheels. And basically what's going to happen with these, for the power hammer, I poured this independent slab back when I did the slab for the workshop. So the power hammer is going to be mounted right here. I'm not going to use bolts or anything like that to mount it. I'm basically going to just be mounting it with straight silicone. So I have an engine hoist that I'm going to use to lift this up to get it off the pallet, and then to hopefully maneuver it over to here. I'm going to set it down to get it in the position I want. I'll trace the base with Sharpie or something, pencil. I will lift it up, move it out of the way, fill this whole area with silicone, move it back, set it down on top, and then just let it sit. And that'll be it for the mounting of the power hammer. Now the 50-ton press most likely will sit here. Of course, I still have a wall to build right here. But like I said, the 50-ton press is on wheels, so when it's not being used, it's just going to be in this corner right here behind the power hammer. So yeah, let me see if I can get the engine hoist set up and figure out how I'm going to lift this thing. Okay, first thing is to repurpose this palleting to make a gate to put across here to keep the dogs out. All right, I have this thing all pulled apart. I have the nuts off of the fastening bolts. I got the engine hoist set up, but the pallet is a little too wide for the feet to slide in, so I'm going to grab my chainsaw. Sorry, it's on ultra wide. And I'm going to cut the pallet along here on the side so that the engine hoist can slide in around it. So I left and I came back. So I'm using the frame of the lift to hold the back steady. So that way, because I don't have a good spot here to hoist from that's center point. It's not actually marked, so I'm pulling it a little bit forward, pulling it back, and bracing it against the legs of the lift. It's the only way I can really make it work. Hottie. Okay. So I just wanted to get it off the pallet and get it moved a little bit so that I can reposition and then figure out a better way to pick it up. And there we go. So that's pretty close to being into position. I haven't decided if I'm going to center it exactly on that slab or if I'm going to move it a little further to the back. Basically what I did was I brought it over with the engine hoist. I put a couple blocks of wood underneath it. I dropped it down. I used the pry bar to kind of lift the edge. I put pipes under it, which those are really short pipes, but they still worked. I tried to put them in the middle. I took the block of wood out of the back. I took the block of wood out of the front. I was able to roll it back until I got it to a spot that I wanted. Pried it up, put the block of wood in the front again, lifted the back with the pry bar, got the pipes out, let the back down, then let the front down. So that is pretty much in place. Pretty awesome. Now I gotta get this thing off the pallet. Okie dokie. So that one had a lower center of gravity. So it was just a matter of creating a little ramp and kind of rolling it off. Still really heavy though. But my equipment is on the ground. That's pretty awesome. Now I just got to figure out how to run them. Got to get a generator in the meantime, I think. So it's getting late. It's like about 6 o'clock. Hi, buddy. Oh, I know. You missed me, huh? I was gone half the day. So, yeah, I had to leave to go do a side job. But I wanted to get these off the pallets tonight, so I'll pick up tomorrow or the next day. I'm not sure when. Actually, I think I'm working the next couple days anyway, so it might be the weekend. Today's Tuesday night, so yeah, I needed to get this stuff out of the doorway because I actually placed the order for the roof wood, so that's pretty exciting. So that's going to be coming here in the next week or so. But yeah, so I'll pick up with this, you know, then tomorrow or probably this weekend. Yeah. Okay. It has been several weeks since I had first started filming about getting this equipment put in place, installed. It might have even been a month or 5 weeks. Geez, it's been a long time. I've been busy with other stuff. But I'm ready to start working on these again. As you can see, I got hydraulic fluid. So this 50-ton press takes about 15 gallons of hydraulic fluid, which is what this black tank is in the back there. So I'm going to be filling that up, and I'm going to be attempting to power this on using my generator. And then I also got 10 tubes of 100% silicone, and that's what I'm going to use to anchor this to the ground. So what's going to happen on this, I'm actually going to end up moving this back. So I want it to be basically right at the back line of this slab so that the main hammer portion is as close to the middle as possible. It'll end up being a little bit forward, but that's fine. And then what's going to happen is, using the engine hoist, I'm going to tilt this thing up, and then I'm going to fill it with silicone and then set it down. And then that's how I'm going to anchor it. So I know a lot of people are going to say, you know, why don't you drill and put in anchors? I've been talking with Jason Knight, and he has this exact same equipment. He's, you know, a very well-known blacksmith, and he's been doing it for a really long time. He told me, do not put wood under there, do not put rubber, don't put anchors, put only 100% silicone. That's the best way to anchor it. So I'm going to take his advice and just go with that. Okay, I have this thing just about filled up. I only put about half of the last one on there. And I just figured out too that I cannot plug this into my generator. I thought that I could without maybe some kind of an adapter plug. So this is going to have to wait until I have, I guess I start doing the wiring on the shop. So I did buy, however, the proper plug. So I have the right plug, which is, you know, 50 amp for single phase 220. So yeah, that's going to have to wait. I'll end up finishing the fill up on this. I just wanted to let it sit. I actually wanted to try to run it before I fully filled it up, but yeah, it's going to have to wait now. So I'm going to shift over to getting this thing in position and getting the silicone underneath it. All right, well, that went pretty well. See, there's a lot of squeeze out. So that'll all stay there, and then after everything's fully cured, I'll come in and I'll just trim that and then peel it off the concrete. So I ended up using 8 tubes. 8 tubes. And this is 100% silicone. You can see a little bit on the back there. I'll just peel that up after it cures. So I think we're good. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting to decorate these. And I want to do some Celtic designs and some Hawaiian designs, and yeah, just want to do it up, make them my own, make them unique. All right, so I have the upper piston installed now, and this is basically what drives the hammer. So this whole assembly here from the die up to the top here, that's one solid piece, and that's what gets driven up and down to create the hammering motion. So, and I believe this thing is 155 pounds. That's why this is a Blue Max 155. So, see my little bit of artwork. There will be a lot more stuff that's going to get done on this. I just wanted to kind of get started. And then, you know, my logo is a vinyl sticker, of course. Yeah, so there will end up being, you know, all over this. I want to do basically just Celtic designs all over this thing. And then on the press, I'm going to be doing all like Hawaiian and Polynesian designs on this one. So you can see I put my logo on there already. That's also a sticker. And then, yeah, so this one will get decorated all on the face as much as I can on the cylinders. So, yeah. And of course I cannot run this yet because this is a pneumatic tool. You can see down there at the bottom, this is where the air inlet is. So there will be a line that goes from here over to the wall, and then on the wall I'll have, eventually I'm going to do copper, most likely is going to be running around the whole shop with little plug-ins, you know, for air tools and whatever, you know, air stuff I might need. Eventually there will be an air compressor that's going to get mounted outside the building in this back corner. But of course I got to pour the cement back there, the pad. I got to do some work on this wall, add some cinder block bricks on the back side and up here on the front side so that I can backfill this wall. I have to waterproof that wall with a membrane. So yeah, there's just a lot to it. But anyway, I think this is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to show me getting my equipment set up. The silicone will sit overnight, harden up. I'll give it a couple of days and then I'll come in and I'll trim it like I said. Let me move my press over here. So now you see both of them together. They will get a lot more decorations and designs put on them. And then, of course, I will have another video once I get to the point where I'm actually able to turn these things on. I thought that I was going to be able to get the press going because I looked at the plug on there and I thought that there was a plug right on my generator for it to plug into, but it's a little bit different. So I don't know if I can make an adapter for that, but I'll see. If not, it's going to have to wait until I start getting the electrical running here. And then the generator is powering through the breaker panel because then I could, you know, power it up that way. And my little, I can try to hook up my little air compressor to this but I don't know if it's gonna, it'll work, but it's not going to be like 100%. Like I won't be able to just keep, using it over and over and over again, because the compressor I have is just a, it's a Craftsman, something that I had for, I don't know, I probably had that compressor for 15 years. I mean, it works great for power, pneumatic tools and stuff, but I doubt that it has the CFM, the cubic, I don't know, CFM, cubic feet per minute, cubic inch, whatever it is, the measurement for the air that this requires to actually run. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Oh, don't look at the roof because I haven't done that video yet. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Equipment setup. There will be more on these later once I get closer to actually running them. And then, of course, down the road, you'll see them in action all the time as I'm, starting to do blacksmithing stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next video. Aloha.